Namaste yogis, welcome to your practice. I'm Stephen from YogaWorks, and this 1 hour class is all about how to put in effort without introducing struggle. That's a hard thing, to do something that is a bit challenging, but at the same time don't feel like you're straining and pushing too hard. That's our goal today. Often we're quite good at pushing ourselves harder, but the problem is we push ourselves into, the orange or the red zone where our energy levels start to go down, and before we know it, we're too depleted, which might lead to mental problems or physical problems, or just sort of feeling lethargic, and it's hard to wake up and get moving in the morning. Now, that's exactly what we don't want. We want to be active. We want to do some poses that might be quite demanding, but without dipping into our energy levels. After this flow, you should feel like, I could do this every day, and it's quite an active thing to do, but it seems to recharge me, make me feel more vibrant and alive at the same time. So keep this in mind as we are flowing through this class today. Also choose the options that work the best for you so that you don't go into that red zone, and that might mean putting your knees down or taking a break in child's pose or whatever it is you need to do. I'll remind you as we go, and you pick the option that is right for you. Let's start with the breath, because there we can do some effort without going into strain. And often when we start straining or struggling, the breath is the first thing that lets us know about this. So it's a really good awareness tool that we can cultivate from the very beginning. The breathing exercise or technique we'll be using today is Ujjayi breath. It translates as a victorious breath. There's a couple of things we are keeping in mind. We're keeping the chest and the rib cage nice and open and lifted. So on the inhale, that's obvious, the rib cage expands, but on the exhale, we're trying to keep the chest up, and then the exhale is mostly the diaphragm pushing up into the rib cage and the belly moving back. So that's the first point. The second point is there's a little constriction at the back of the throat, which creates an internal sighing sound, almost like waves coming and going on the beach. It's not loud, it's very subtle, but you will be able to hear it and feel it internally. It's almost like an internal sigh, but it's both on the exhale and on the inhale. The inhale takes a bit more practice, but you've got time. You've got time. All right, so here we go. Close your eyes. Start to gently constrict the back of the throat so that you start to hear and feel the breath pass through the back of the throat. It's a bit hard for me to do this and at the same time speak, so you're likely not to hear my breath, but that's not necessary as long as you hear yours, and then that's fine. Then notice the lift in the chest as you inhale, and then keep that as best as you can as you exhale. Keep the lift in the chest, keep the slight constriction back of the throat. Do a few rounds like this, and there's a lot of stuff going on, your throat, your chest, the breath and the rhythm. But see if you can do this without straining, without thinking too much, without pushing too hard, without trying to lengthen or hold the breath in any way. This is quite a warming breath, so it's nice in a colder season. I'm recording this in the winter in South Africa. And another advantage is it gives you a little bit more control over the length of the inhales and exhales, so that you can time it. Once we start moving, you can start to time it, the breath with the movement a little bit better. So I'll count you through a few breaths together. Exhale all the breath out to start. And then inhale Ujjayi breath, 2, 3, 4, pause for a moment. Ujjayi exhale, 2, keep the chest lifted, 3, 4, little pause. Inhale, Ujjayi, 2, 3, 4. Pause at the top, but don't strain or struggle. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Pause at the bottom, but again, no tension, no extra tension. Inhale, 2, 3, 4 here, and feel the breath inside you. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. The breath starts to feel like our home. Wherever you are, in the car, at home, at your desk, you can do this. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Pause. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Stay empty for a moment, just notice. We'll do one more round. Hear the breath. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold. Exhale, 2, Ujjayi, 3, 4, and let your breath return to normal. Notice how you feel after some simple breath work. And then keep this slight Ujjayi breath during this whole practice. Whenever you remember, I'll remind you. And try to do it without creating internal strain. Your throat shouldn't be sore. You shouldn't feel like you're out of breath. It should be an extra benefit to your practice. A bit of core work already. When I say core work, I'm sure you start to imagine, punishing abs and burning sensations. This is not our core work today. We're going to be doing some subtle core work. So come on your hands and knees, and keep this in mind. We're doing some effort without struggling. So this is important, especially here. Step your right foot towards the back, and then just take a moment to arrange your rib cage so that the front ribs are nice and knitted together. Your belly is a little bit lifted. The lower back is a bit sort of full. And you're not rounding or arching your back too much. So try to get to neutral spine, in other words. And then once you've got this, lift the right foot a little bit without losing that neutral spine. If you lift it too high, you're definitely going to lose the neutral spine. You're going to arch your back. So rather keep the leg a little bit lower. And if it's just above the ground, don't worry about it. Feel the slight squeeze around the belly. But as we said, we're not struggling. And then reach the left arm forward. Now notice how the breath is. We've introduced something a little bit more demanding than what we were doing before. So obviously the breath is going to be affected, but can you do this without tensing up extra, without leaking energy by frowning or shrugging your shoulders or whatever else it is. Now, some gentle movement. Bring the left hand and your right knee together. Try to do this without rounding your back. You want to keep that neutral spine. And then reach the leg and the arm out. Again, strong spine and center. Tap your hand and the knee together. And just do a few of these. Keep it slow. If you speed it up, the quality will probably not be the same. And notice how your spine wants to move, but you're putting in just enough effort to keep it steady and stable. Good. Place left hand, right knee down. And take a moment in downward facing dog. You can pedal the legs out. You can do whatever you want to shift around, to move your body. Good. Second side. Lower the knees down. Find neutral spine as best as you can and step left foot back. I like to start with the left toes down. So it gives me a moment to check my spinal alignment. It might be nice to touch your front ribs just to have that tactile awareness. And then keep all of this. Lift the left leg a little bit. Remember, not too high because you're going to go into spinal extension. Your body will compensate. And then if it feels okay and it doesn't make you tense too much, reach right arm forward. And notice the work in the core here to keep you steady. Try not to lift that left hip up. Keep it in line with the right hip as best as you can feel. And then some slow, controlled movements. Tap right hand to left knee. And stretch forward and back without arching your back. Tap hand to knee. And reach. Keep the belly strong, but without struggling. Couple of times. Let's do 2 more. Tap, try not to round your back. Reach, try not to arch your back. 1 more. Slow and steady. Good. Downward facing dog. Now lower the knees down. We're rolling to the left side. So set up with the left forearm down. Right foot in front of the left. So you can squeeze the inner thighs a bit together. It's going to help. And then lift the hips off the ground. And then check that the right hip is above the left. You can reach the right arm up if you like. You can even look up if your balance is okay this morning or whenever you're doing this practice. Press the mat away. Here we are, side plank, a typical struggle through it kind of pose, isn't it? But see if you can hold the pose as best as you can without creating additional tension that will not be helpful. Good, release that. Going straight to the second side. I'm turning around so you can see better, but you can just swap wherever you are. So we're lying in a straight line, think mountain pose. Right elbows down, left foot in front of the right, and then push the feet and the right elbow down to lift the hips. Left hip is above the right. Left arm can go up. There's other variations. If you need to change it, then by all means go ahead. Your breath is gonna let you know. This is a hard pose, but we're doing it with the sort of the minimum effort that's required, not to sag or sacrifice the quality, but just not to tense and struggle up. Then we're no longer doing yoga. 3, 2, 1, slowly lower down, well done. Let's lie on our back. A little break. No, not really. We're getting ready we've done some core for the back body with our bird dog, it's called, the arm and the leg. We've done some side core with our side planks. We'll do some abdominal work, which works like this. Bring the knees above the hips. Bring the shins parallel to the mat, about 90 degrees as best as you can. During this exercise, your knees are going to want to come closer, but do your best to keep them above the hips. And then reach the arms up. Nice. So now all we're going to do is lift the fingertips up. Your head and chest are going to lift up. Your shoulder blades will come off the mat. And then also lift the hips up a little bit. So there's a tiny curling under of the tailbone here. Not much. So the knees are not coming too close to the face. And then release that. So in between there's a little moment of releasing that tension. Again, here we go. Press belly down. Lift the fingertips, lift the hips. And then slowly lower. Couple of times. Imagine your front body shortens. Really good abdominal work. And again, see if you can do this without extra strain. And if that means you do 3 instead of 7, then that's totally fine. If it means you need to take a little break to skip 1 or 2, that's totally fine. We're still going. Let's do 2 more. crunch up, but don't bring the knees too close. And lower down. One more. Lift the head, the shoulders, the hips if you can. And slowly lower. Take a moment. Right, next, make sure you have some space behind you and also in front of you. We're going to be rolling backwards and forwards. So you can start quite softly. You can roll all the way to the top of the shoulders, the neck even. And you can roll until your feet touch down. Nice. And again, try to feel like the sort of the flow, the playful element in these movements, especially this one. Kids love this one. They have the best time rolling up and down, so nothing says that adults can't do the same. If you want to, you can create a bit more momentum as you go up. Maybe come into a little squat. If you lift the hips just briefly. I'm just giving some options to play. And can you roll without creating additional struggle or tension? If you want to play even more, you can roll up, do a brief crow pose at the top and roll back. Why not? Just because you can. And if that's too much of a struggle for you, then don't do it. But if it's fun, then do one more. Good. Come to stand, top of the mat, however you get there. Bend the knees a bit. Hang the upper body down. Lengthen the spine. Relax the head. Good. Let's come into squat. Squat, always a great pose to see how the hips are doing today. And if you're also doing this session in the winter or on a colder day, it's quite possible that you just feel a little bit more stiffness. It takes a little bit longer to warm up and open up. So just take that into account. It's fine. Nice. Couple of movements in the squat. Feel free to, if you need to lift the heels to get this done, that's okay. If you need to have your hands behind you for some extra support, that's okay. All we're going to do is bring one knee in, lift it back up, bring the other knee in, lift it back up. A couple of times. You don't have to go all the way down, but if that happens, that's okay too. So a bit of a internal rotation in the hip joint. If you want to try without using your hands, then it's going to be a little bit harder, but really fun, of course. And even if it's a bit of a difficult or challenging or new movement, see if you can do it without creating additional struggle. This is our whole setup today. Nice. Next time your left knee comes down, see if you can sit down and just open the right knee as well. So now you're in a sort of a windscreen wiper position. Now you can use the hands behind you just to push you back up into that squat. Go the other way, right knee down. Sit, left knee down. To push back up, feel free to give a little push with your hands and then go side to side. If you can get up without using your hands, that's also fine. I can sometimes do it, and sometimes I just need the extra little push with the hands. That's fine. This is really amazing hip mobility work. Really good warm-up for all the muscles and the soft tissues around the hip joints. Last one. And then slowly straighten the legs a little bit. Not all the way, keep a little bend in the knees, hang down again. Get back to the breath. Of course your breath is affected as you do some of these challenging movements, but it doesn't have to go completely out of the window. You're panting, you're hyperventilating. This would be would not be beneficial for our yoga practice. Good, let's roll up really slow. And we'll do a little bit more of a leg hip warm up. This time a little bit more strength-based work. It works like this: standing tall mountain pose. Keep your core, your glutes a little bit engaged, and then lift the heels as high as they'll go. Lift the heels. Keep this. Keep everything centered. Start to bend the knees a little bit. Let's go halfway down. Pause. Halfway down. And then really slow, go further and further down until you sit on your heels, and then start to lower the knees down in front of you so you get a nice little quad stretch here. Now from here, we'll rock back and come into a little squat. And then do this a few times. We're rocking forward, we're rocking back. Rock forward, rock back. If you need some support with the hands, feel free to put the hands a little bit behind you as the knees touch down, and then it's going to help you to come into that squat. Maybe your hands come in front, so do whatever is needed to keep your balance. Might want to move my feet a little bit further apart so that the squat becomes a bit more doable as I go back. And then do that a few times, just playing around. Doing this, it's a simple movement, but it's quite a challenging one at the same time. So can you do it without struggle? And if that means using your hands or taking a break, then so be it. But let the not struggling be a central part of your practice today. Good. Slowly roll back up. We'll go down again. Option 1 is to do the same, so you're lifting the heels. Let's all start there. So option 1 is you go straight down. Option 2 is your upper body leans a bit back as your knees go forward. Go slowly, go slowly, go slowly. We're going all the way down. Maybe if you're doing that, the sissy squat, that's with the knees forward, you might need to lower the hands. And then come back to squat. Slowly push through the feet for a relaxed forward fold. Hang the head down. Remember, in yoga, it's always recommended, if you can't keep up your breath, is struggling, things are going too fast or they're becoming too hard, to do a little resting pose. This is a good one. There's always child's pose, there's lying your back, there's simply standing in mountain. There's down dog, depending on what you did before. So feel free to use these resting options, they are there for you. Roll up slowly. Mountain pose, top of the mat. Good. Couple of sun salutations. This is a nice flow, it's quite active. We'll be moving with the breath. See if you can use that ujjayi breath that we practiced in the beginning. Strong lift of chest, slight constriction back of the throat, and the absence of struggle. If it's too much, drop the ujjayi, just do regular, smooth, controlled breaths. Hands to the heart. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, fold forward over the legs. You can always bend your knees. Inhale, fall flat back. Exhale, fold again, use your belly. Inhale, rise, go all the way up. Exhale, hands return to the heart. Same thing, inhale, don't struggle, just flow. Exhale as smooth as you can, use the whole breath. Inhale, flat back, make space, lift high enough. Exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, push the feet, lift the arms. Exhale, hands to heart. Adding on, inhale, rise, arms reach up, Exhale, fold and relax the head at the bottom. Inhale, flat back. So far it's the same. Exhale, now step right foot back, right knee down. Inhale, lift the arms, one breath, low lunge. Exhale, just do downward dog. I'm modifying the sun salutations. We're skipping the chaturanga and the back bend part, the cobra or the up dog, whatever it is. Inhale and down dog. Exhale, right foot forward, left knee down. Keep the breath soft. Inhale, lift the arms, no struggle. Exhale, hands down, forward fold. Inhale, rise, take it all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Moving like a moving meditation. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, bow down. It's like a prayer, an offering. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, hands down, left foot back. Lower the left knee. Inhale, the arms float up. Just watch your body doing this. Exhale, downward facing dog. Don't push, don't strain. Inhale here. Exhale, left foot forward, right knee down. Inhale, the arms float. Exhale, stepping forward gently. Relax. Inhale, go all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Should we do one more of these? Okay, I know you can't reply, but let's do one more of this. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, relax more as you fold forwards. Inhale, flat back. Don't hold on to stuff. Exhale, right foot back, right knee down. Just enjoy the simple flow. Inhale, arms wide. Exhale to downward facing dog, step back. Little break, here we go. Inhale. Exhale, right foot forward, left knee down. Don't take it too serious. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, fold forward at the top, step. Inhale, all the way up. Make space. Exhale, hands to heart. We've got half a side left. Inhale. Exhale, follow your movements with your mind, not the other way around. Inhale, flat back. Just watch yourself flowing here. Exhale, left foot back, left knee down. Inhale, the arms float up. What a wonderful instrument is this body and this mind. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale here. Yoga teaches you to make the most of this technology you have been giving the body and the mind. Exhale, left foot forward, right knee down. Inhale, don't strain, lift the arms. Exhale, step forward, fold at the top. Inhale, nice and relaxed, lift arms. Exhale, hands to heart, center. Close your eyes, take a breath. Of course, the breath gets a bit faster as we start to move through these sun salutations. That's the whole point. We're warming up each part of the body, getting the heart rate a bit up. We're getting the joints to move through different ranges. But we don't need to add additional strain, like, oh, I'm so bad at this. Oh, look at this person next to me going way further. Oh, I wish that I could touch this or lower that, and I can't seem to manage. No, this would introduce additional holding and tension patterns, which would be quite contrary to what we're trying to do. Okay, chair pose, enough talking. Chair pose, here we go. Pull the elbows back, cactus arms. So from the front, I'll show you from the front. It's like this, arch your back, stick your buttocks a bit back, pull the elbows back behind you. This is the inhale. Exhale, right hand on top, round your back as if you're diving forward. Inhale, pull the elbows back, arch your back. Exhale, left hand on top, dive, this time go all the way down. Inhale, flat back, heart goes forward. Pause. From here, you can bend the knees as much as you need to lower fingertips. Reach the right leg up and back for standing splits. You can lower the head down a little bit to get that sort of pendulum or seesaw kind of feeling. As your upper body lowers, the right leg lifts until it stops, of course. And then bend the front knee, step the right foot back, lift the arms, high lunge. So if you can, keep that right knee lifted here. Hands to the heart. Reach the chest a little bit forward, push that left foot down. Push it down so much that your right leg lifts behind you. Warrior 3. A moment here to expand, and then gently, gently, gently step back. Lower that back knee down. You can use your hands. Pull the left hip back and lift the left toes for hamstring stretch. You can even go a little bit further back. So you sit all the way in that right heel. Lengthen the heart forward. Of course, if you're more up, then that counts. It counts. Good. Then slide the left foot forward. Bend the left knee. Hands to heart. We're twisting. The right elbow goes over the left knee. Nice. Now tuck the back toes under. See if you can straighten that back leg. Are you struggling? Okay, thanks for the reminder. Yes, I was actually. Now look down at the left foot. Hope for the best. Don't think about it too much. We're going to step the right foot next to the left for revolved chair pose. And then relax, forward fold, just hold on, fold down. That's quite a challenging little sequence. You may not have done this before. We're just stringing a couple of poses together. And I'm doing this on purpose, slightly challenging, but I want to know if you can do this without extra struggling. The first time is going to be harder. We're going to flow through this another time to give you another opportunity to hopefully strain a bit less. Good. Chair pose. Bend your knees. Cactus the arms. Expand the heart forward. Inhale here. Exhale, right hand on top. Dive around your back a lot. Pull the front ribs back. Inhale. Open the chest. Bend the knees. Exhale, left hand on top. Dive. Go all the way down. Inhale, flat back. Pause. Bend your knees as much as you need to. Lower fingertips. Now left leg goes up and back for standing split. You can place the hands wider. Maybe bend the elbows. Just do whatever is appropriate to get into the pose. And even if the left leg is just barely above the mat, then so be it. That's where you're at today. At least you showed up and you got on your mat, which is more important than how high that left leg is. Good. We're stepping back. Gently lift the arms. High lunge. Nice. Hands to heart. Push the right foot down. Lean forward until the left leg lifts. Warrior 3 pose. Totally fine if you need to grab some furniture to keep your balance. Good. We're stepping back. Maybe without the hands, lower the back knee down. Start to pull the hips back. Sit on the left heel. Lift the right toes. Straighten a little bit through the right knee. It might not be always straight. It's okay. A little moment here. Nice hamstring stretch. Nice little breather in the sequence. And slide forward. You probably have to slide that right heel a bit more forward. Hands to heart. Exhale. Let's twist left elbow. Right knee, push the elbows. Roll the right shoulder open. Good, tuck the back toes. See if that left knee can lift. If it doesn't, you'll have to keep it down, won't you? And then look down at the right foot. Don't think about this. Inhale. Exhale as controlled as you can. Step your left foot next to the right. Revolved Utkatasana. And exhale, release. Take a few breaths. If along the way you lose that ujjayi or even the smooth controlled breathing, that's totally fine. For many, many years when you start yoga, this is going to be the case. Good. Did you say one more round? Okay, you said one more round. Oh no, I said one more round. Anyway, here we go. Bend your knees, cactus the arms, Utkatasana. Exhale, right hand on top, round your back. Inhale, pull the heart through, elbows back. Exhale, left hand on top. Dive all the way down. Inhale, flat back. Right leg floats up, standing splits. Step it back, soft. Don't strain, lift the arms. High lunge. Warrior 3, here we go. Traditional straining, breath-killing pose, don't do it. Relax in Warrior 3, can you? Step it back. Sit back on that back heel, maybe without using the hands. See how you go. Set up for our twist. Left knee bends, hands to heart. Right elbow over the left knee. Lift the back knee if you can. Look down for balance. Inhale. Relax as you step forward. Chair with the twist. Release the hands down. Well done. One more side. Be as relaxed as you can. No struggle. Here we go. Chair pose with the back bend. Cactus your arms. Exhale, right hand on top. Round your back. Inhale, cactus. Exhale, left hand on top. Dive down. Inhale, flat back, hands down, left leg rises. It's standing split. Bend the front knee, step back lightly. High lunge. Don't strain, or not more than you should, to get the poses done as best as you can. Hands to heart. Step closer, float the left leg. Land softly, maybe no hands. As you make the transition, right leg straightens, pull the right toes towards your forehead. Set up for the twist, rebend the right knee, hands to heart, left elbow over the knee. Push the hands, lift the back knee, look down, inhale. Exhale, little step. Land softly, here you are, inhale in chair. With the twist, exhale, let go. Take a moment to hang down. Let the breath slow down, let the heart rate slow down for a moment. Good, we've got one more little flow. You can slowly roll up. Same principle, we'll do it once, a little bit slower. We'll get used to the sequence of movements and then we'll flow through it one more time to see if we can do the same quite challenging flow without additional strain. Okay, not sure where I should start. Good, fold forward. We're starting in Warrior 3. So first, coming to flat back. You can have fingertips down for now. Then lift the right leg. See if you can bring your hands up to the heart. Right hip is rolled down, but now we'll change that. Start to roll the right hip open. So more towards half moon pose. You can keep left hand to your heart, or you can dangle the left arm down. If you need more support, then touch the ground with the left hand, or even have a block or some support under the left hand. Good, we're going to bend the left knee, step back smoothly, not how I did it, hopefully yours crashes down a bit less. Warrior 2, reverse warrior. Lean back with the left arm. Take a moment, we'll take another moment in each pose the first time we do it. And then we'll stitch it together. Nice. From here, side angle pose, left elbow to left thigh, right arm reaches up and over. Triangle pose, start to straighten the front leg, left hand on the, I like it on the shin to be honest, and then right arm can lift up. Some people, I see them really trying to get that left hand down. I can do it, but suddenly I start to strain, this right shoulder's collapsed. It's not great. So pick the option where you feel confident, open, spacious, and you're not struggling. That's part of what we're doing in yoga. Nice. Now, unusual transition. Right hand, bring it inside the left foot. Start to lift that back heel up. Keep this straight-ish front knee. Lift the left arm. It's a revolved triangle, a little bit of a longer stance, and our back heel is lifted, which is not always the case. And I'm going to be with my back to you, but I'm sure you'll know what to do. Right hand, place it down. Turn both sets of toes towards the left side and hammock your right hip down. You can reach the left arm towards your back foot. And just take a moment. I really love this outer hip stretch on both sides, and then all the space here in the right side of the rib cage. Hang out for a moment, and then undo it, downward facing dog. Take a breath. Good. Walk to the front of your mat. Inhale, flat back. We're doing the second side. Fingertips can start down if you need some support. Lift the left leg up, warrior 3. Once you're more or less stable, see if you can bring hands to heart. Now, warrior 3 to half moon, it's not easy. Open the left hip. Turn the left toes to the left. You can drop the right arm down or sort of dangle it down. Lift the left arm up. So it's a slow opening, lots of focus, normally lots of struggle, but today it's different. We decided not to struggle today. Bend that front knee, step it back to warrior 2, and then transition straight into reverse warrior, lean back. Side angle pose, right elbow down, left arm over. There's other versions, but I'm pretty sure that they will cause more struggle rather than less. So why do it? Transition to triangle pose, Trikonasana. Hand not too low, so you can expand, you can breathe. You can even relax in this pose. Left hand inside the right foot. We're lifting the back heel. Straighten the right knee as best as you can, and then lift that right arm up. So we're squeezing the inner thighs together. Turning the chest towards the right. It's revolved triangle variation. Good. Keep that left hand down. Wiggle the toes so they face to the right. And then you can reach right arm back, but mostly hang the hips down. Feel the outer hips. 3, 2, 1. Downward facing dog. Step back. Take a breath. Start to walk forward to the front of the mat. Get ready for the second round. Remember, we've done it before, you kind of know what's coming, or at least you've done it once, and now our task is really to do it as smoothly and as relaxed as possible without losing the quality of the pose. So even if we're flowing through several poses, treat each one as its own separate unit. You're trying to do it as best as you can, but you're not struggling. Easier said than done. Let's try it together. Here we are. Warrior 3. Let's start hands to heart immediately this time. Right leg, stretch it back. Don't lift the right hip yet. It's different than half moon. And then start to open right hip, right shoulder. Turn to the right. Turn the right toes as well. You can dangle left arm or have it down for support. Open the right arm. And we're going to land softly as you can into Warrior 2. I know I'm with my back to you, but it's just so you can see the front of the other poses where I was with my back to you before. Reverse Warrior. Left arm up. Side angle. Left elbow down, right arm over. Triangle pose. Pick the right option so you don't struggle, but you still do a really good triangle pose. And then right hand down, right heel up, straight legs best as you can, left arm up, revolve triangle variation. And then hammock hip stretch thingy. I'm not sure if this has a name. I guess it's a version of side plank. So hang out for a moment. Downward facing dog, step back. Got one more side left, one more opportunity to move in a way that feels like it's putting you back together rather than pulling you further apart. That's really important. Step your feet forward. Flat back, hands to heart. Left leg, step it back. No, not step it back, lift it up. Warrior 3. Even hips for now, until we start to open the left side body. Open left hip, open left shoulder, open left arm. Dangle the right arm, maybe it needs to touch down for balance. Don't strain. Step back, soft. With control, Warrior 2 into reverse. Side angle pose. Can you move with grace? And then straighten right leg for triangle pose. Trikonasana. And then Parivrita Trikonasana, which is the revolved triangle pose. Straight legs best as you can. Right arm lifted up. You can turn your head, but often I prefer to look straight in the direction of my chest, to be honest. Left hand down, swivel the feet to the right. Hammock thingy. We need a new name for it. And well done. You've made it back to down dog. In fact, let's lower the knees without further delay. Have a bit of space between the knees and fold forward into child's pose. Couple of breaths. Feel what it's like to be rooted in the body. Feel how it felt like to have moved in a quite an active, challenging way without introducing additional strain. Without feeling like you were inadequate, you were not enough, you are not good at this yoga thing. All of these things hold us back. how we want to feel is confident, able, free to move however we want, and to modify the practice so that it suits us. Good, slowly start to roll up. Step your right foot forward. Keep the left knee down. Just a couple of times. Nice and relaxed. Bend and straighten the front leg. Doesn't have to straighten all the way, but just sort of move the hips forward and back. With a smooth, simple movement, it's a lot easier to keep the breath relaxed as well, so notice that. And if this is how you need to move more, then this is it. You know, maybe tomorrow morning you get up and you do just this. 1 minute on both sides is a really good start. Nobody says when you do yoga you have to do a full hour of practice. Sometimes you do, and sometimes 2 minutes is all you got. So then we'll take it. When next time you rebend the front knee, keep it bent, and then a couple of times straighten the back knee and lower it down. Straighten and lower. And try to contain this movement as much in the left leg as possible, so that the right leg and hip is not helping much with the carrying of that weight. It's a really nice way to lengthen the quads, the hip flexors of the back leg, and to do some mild strength work, you could say. Good. Release that. Swap the legs. You can go through down dog, or you can lower your knees. Left foot forward, right knee down. Couple of times. Pull back into half splits, we call this, and then pull forward into a low lunge. Couple of times, and if you feel any restrictions, any tightness, then just go until you get into that little bit of challenge, but not until you start to strain and struggle again. Just stop a little bit earlier if that's the case for you. No comparing, no wishing that you had a different body. This is it. You showed up. Your body's like this today. And that's what we're working with. It's amazing. One more. Nice and soothing, rocking movements. I really like to move like this. Hands down or hands stay down. The back knee lifts up and lowers down. Try to not help too much with the left hip and knee. And then at the end of this movement, just squeeze your quad a little bit to lift the thigh up. You'll feel some gentle strength work and a bit of a stretch in the front of the thigh as well. Good, release that. Come to sit with the legs wide. Another slightly active movement, but not a very intense pose. Well, it depends, of course, how open you are, because for some bodies, just sitting like this is quite intense by itself. So spread the legs wide, have the feet slightly active so the toes point up, and then all we're going to do is clasp your hands together and then lean forward and stir the giant pot. Just imagine there's a giant pot between your legs and you're the chef, stewing up an amazing, hearty, flavorsome dish. What are you cooking up today? Just keep the legs quite active as your upper body is moving, the spine is moving. And keep it as relaxing as possible, even if your circle is a bit smaller, even if your legs are a bit bent. Even if you sit up on a block just to have a bit more space, and that's all fine. Those are details. Nice. Change direction. I don't think in cooking that's recommended. I've heard once you should always stir only in one direction. I'm not sure if that's true. And my wife is a chef, so maybe I should ask her. But which soup or stew are you cooking up with your ingredients? In yoga, the ingredients are simple. It's the breath, it's the mind, it's the body. So with that amazing technology, how is your soup? Some people create a miserable soup and some create an amazing one. So it's up to you what you do with this. Good. Cross your legs. Let's start left shin in front. And then have your feet under the knees, so quite compact, and then flex your feet a bit. You can have hands on the knees, and then here we'll also move around. So just circle the upper body. And you probably feel a mild hip stretch, especially as you go forward, maybe to the side. But just see how you can almost rock your body into a more relaxed state without feeling like, oh man, I can't do this. No, we're just sort of touching on a slight stretch. Swap the legs. Swap the direction of your circles. Oh, this feels a lot smoother for me. And just notice these differences without getting attached. This is my good side, this is my bad side. This again would not help us a lot further. It creates new tension in the brain, mental tension. In yoga we call it aversion, trying to avoid some stuff. And attachment, you're trying to get more of some stuff. They're two sides of the same coin, really. Both of them lead to us not seeing clearly. In yoga, we say that's the main reason for us getting unhappy or suffering, is you're not seeing clearly. You're too attached to some things. You're too averse to other things. And all these things change anyway, so better to let go a little bit. Good. Last pose. Straighten the left leg. I'm not mirroring you. Place the right foot over. I'll give you two choices. If you want to twist and stay here and twist to the right. If you're more of a hamstring stretch, then pull this foot back and place the right knee on top of the left. And then you can lean a bit forward. So either twisting to the right or you're doing a forward fold. Sometimes it's also good to know how you can modify stretches or change them completely to suit more of what you need at that moment. And I like to give some choice, but even if the teacher doesn't give you choices, you still do have a choice. You are ultimately in charge of your own yoga practice. Good. Swap it around, right leg straight, left knee, step the left foot over the right knee. Option 1, twist to the left. Option 2, I think it's called shoelace, where the left knee is on top of the right. And keep the right foot a little bit active and just lean forward. You probably won't have to go as far as other forward bends. And until you feel a good length in the hamstring, probably you feel this one a bit more behind the back of the knee. So go a bit gently on this. Good. Slowly lift up and take a moment. There's two options here as well. You can just come into comfortable cross-legged or other seat. You can sit for a moment in seated meditation, or of course you can lie down on your back. Shavasana, always available. We've got 2 minutes or so before our hour of yoga is up. So choose the pose that you would like the most now. And then come into the ultimate surrender, where you let go of the body. You've placed it down on this earth, whether you're sitting or lying. Let go of the body. And let go of the breath. We've been controlling it. We did Ujjayi breath. We tuned into the breath in a lot of poses. But now we no longer have to get involved. Let the breath go and watch it continue in the background. You don't need to get involved. And then the biggest wild card is often our mind that seems to jump around, be eternally busy and distracted and involved in a whole lot of things. So now can you get a bit less mentally involved? It doesn't mean your focus drifts off. You're very much here, but you're no longer analyzing, thinking, holding on, wishing, and controlling. Take a step back and watch. And then start to take a few deeper breaths. If you like to extend your meditation or your Shavasana a little bit longer, then just switch off the video and do your thing. This extra 5 minutes can make a huge difference. If it's time to go, then it's time to go. You can start to move your hands and feet if you're lying down. You can bend your knees, roll to your side, come into a seated position. Unless if you're already there. And then bring hands together at the heart. Touch your hands to your forehead, to your heart center, and bow to yourself on the mat. Thank you so much for practicing. Namaste, everybody. Well done for giving this a try. Moving in a way that requires some effort. We put in the effort, but we decided not to struggle, not to add additional tension. So well done. I hope to see you here again soon, and take good care of yourselves.